Disney Marvel Studios, they're talking about opening weekend ranges for the Marvels at 50 to 75 million. That's
Awful.
close to the same range as Five Nights at Freddy's will enjoy a few weeks before that. And Five Nights at Freddy's, week over week for the last 2 to 3 weeks, has been increasing double digits
And
percentage-wise.
it's not a theatrical exclusive either, is it?
No, Five Nights at
No.
Freddy's is being
So-
co-released day and date on Peacock because it's a universal distribution. And Jason Blum has already made it clear that, you know what? It doesn't matter what it does in the theaters. Blumhouse and Five Nights at Freddy's has already turned a profit because of the check that we got from Universal to put it on Peacock. And again, this
It's the
is
same with
power.
Exorcist, I think, too.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, folks, very popular video game franchise. Got introduced to it because of Renegade Jr. It is a blast. It is a bunch of creepy freaking Chuck E. Cheese. It's really Showbiz Pizza characters from back in the day when we were kids.
You leave Billy Bob out of this.
Yeah. And I mean, basically that terrorize and kill
It's
children
like
in the
Buc-ee's.
restaurant. Yeah.
Like the Buc-ee's beaver doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean,
These are such pure characters, and you're ruining them. Why? Why? The Bucky Beaver? No!
But they are doing this on a day and date release, and Blumhouse is fine with it. They're thrilled with it because of the paycheck they got from Peacock. But it still looks like, even with this being a day and date release, it is going to challenge the Marvels for opening weekend dominance. They don't come out on the same weekend. I just mean from the standpoint of Five Nights at Freddy's on the weekend of October 27th, just before Halloween, could turn in bigger numbers, even being on streaming the same day as Captain Marvel and other girl bosses will a few weeks later. It's crazy.
You know, Valerie, just to add to that, I was just at Universal Studios in Orlando yesterday. The Cinemark Theater there already has advertisement for Five Nights at Freddy's, and people are talking about it. And the merchandise
is
in the park, so
huge.
too.
Lorena, I've never had so many angry comments on a video in my life in terms of I didn't cover a subject enough that was part of the video. When I put the video out a couple of days ago talking about the Marvel's initial projections, which we're looking at now, versus Five Nights at Freddy's, they're like, I went through the whole video and you only spent the last 3 or 4 minutes talking about FNAF. I'm like, well, because the video was really about how the Marvels is collapsing against it. That was the big story. There were so many FNAF fans that showed up. I'm like, guys, don't worry. I'm going to be covering FNAF a lot more in the coming weeks. It's too early right now for the algorithms, but next week, especially when we start getting the last set of box office projections from Box Office Pro here, Thursday, Friday this week, I'll cover that. I'll talk about it going into next week. I'll even do an out of the theater review because I promise you I'll be there Thursday night. So I'm very much looking forward to it, short of something coming up that prevents me from going. But I mean, there's a big following for this. But if you look at this, let's talk about what they're saying about Captain Marvel. All right, here's all.
Well, just before you get to that, those numbers could potentially be the worst opening weekend for a Marvel Studios film ever. Yes. And the domestic range is pretty much confirmed it's going to be the worst ever, even if you factor in inflation, because I think the Incredible Hulk is the worst, and that's still 190 something when you factor in inflation.
All right, John, you've sucked me in. I'm going to have to just say it now because there's no better place to do it than here. All right, I ran the numbers based on what John's talking about. Here's what we've got. Hulk from 2008. If you look at the average ticket price for 2008, which is $7.18. Yes, we remember those days. They were better than now, eh? But if you run the numbers domestically for that, you come out with 36 million people having gone to see Hulk 2008. The Marvels, on the other hand, and I'm doing this as kindly as I can because movie ticket prices today, they give an estimate, and I got this out of the New York Times, $11.75. I don't think that's accurate. I think that's low.
Over 12. It's over 12.
Right. But I ran it for what the New York Times has. So, we're giving them that 16,085,106 anticipated moviegoers if we factor in the top level domestic haul that they're projecting. Now, what does that mean? This is how bad this is. The numbers look like this is the worst movie of all time for Marvel. Okay? But not terribly so. It's below the Hulk, and that's embarrassing enough. What if I told you that adjusted for the inflation of movie ticket prices, the Marvels will drop 57% below the Hulk of 2008? That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
A 57% drop from the worst Marvel movie ever.
The MCU is a dead franchise considering what
at the box office.
I
don't think that's the worst Marvel movie ever. Just to clarify.
No, but the point is, it is a dead franchise given what they're spending, right? The Incredible Hulk back in 2008 didn't cost $300+ million to produce. This did, and it's going to turn in an audience that is, less than half. That's the problem here. This is the Kevin Feige brand of Marvel. Marvel, like Disney, will not get saved until Kevin Feige is either fired and replaced with a business person. People like to laud the fact that Kevin Feige, he's a big Marvel nerd. He loves Marvel. Great. That's exactly the kind of person you don't put in charge of the money. Exactly the kind of person you never, ever put in charge of the money, because they have no capacity to see what works from a commercial perspective, right? What happened after Disney?
And who did that?
Disney
who put him in charge?
Well, exactly. Disney ran off Ike Perlmutter.
Yep, exactly.
Victoria Alonso helped Kevin Feige run off Ike Perlmutter. What has happened since Ike Perlmutter left? All the shit, pardon my French, that has come out of Marvel, especially in phases 4 and 5, which has almost entirely been shit. That's all. This is German. This is Kevin Scheiße. That has all entirely been Kevin Feige's brand of Marvel. This is trash. It is garbage.
And you see that from all of the writers and directors. They all say this was Feige's idea, et cetera, et cetera.
It was. These are Feige's. Yeah. Even the director of what was it? What was the latest show that came out?
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Who was the female director? The female director of the Marvels, maybe?
Yes. You're trying to
get DaCosta, yes. Nia DaCosta, yes. She said that.
Thank you.
What the crap are we making? I don't even understand this. I'm calling the guys over making Loki and saying, what is this?
She had no idea what she was filming, no idea what she was doing. All she knew was this was, in her words, a Kevin Feige movie. That's what they all are. It's all trash. And all of this was born out of when Disney bought Marvel Comics along with Marvel Studios. Disney has been making their own brand of characters in the comics to say, well, we're going to make a movie out of this because, well, it's canon. It came from the comics. Nobody's watching this shit. I mean, that's the problem. It is trash. But let's go through this with the Marvels, because I joked about this the other day in a video. These are the pros. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, introduced in a highly successful and timely fashion. A timely fashion, that's the key word, back in 2018 and 19. Because why? As I said before, you literally could have put a dead blind monkey on the ground watching grass grow for 2 hours, and the damn thing would have done $1 billion as the lead-in for Endgame 2 months before it came out. It didn't matter what was in that theatrical window. You literally could have put anything out there. I know we touted it with Sam Jackson's coming in as a young Nick Fury and all this. That was fine. The movie was trash. The movie was terrible. The character was terrible. And audiences reacted very negatively to this character. And people said, oh, that's bullcrap because look at it was one of the biggest Marvel movies. Yeah, now it's happening. Now we're looking at a performance that's going to turn in with one of the worst box office measurements of all time for Disney and Marvel in that end. $153 million weekend opening. That was back in 2019. We are now looking at what was probably going to wind up as a 1/3 of that box office for this new Captain Marvel movie. After ticket prices have increased since the first one came out, over 30%. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.